watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on DC News Now at 9. I'm Susan Tryon.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Flanagan. Tonight, the husband of a missing Manassas Park, Virginia woman is behind bars. He is charged with concealing her body. And a former federal agent says more charges could soon be coming.
That's right. DC News Now's Max Marcella has been following this case and joins us live right outside of Prince William County Courthouse. Max, could this next break in the case lead to murder charges?
Well, Susan and Chris, good evening. It absolutely could, because at least here in Virginia, you don't need a body to charge someone with murder. Now, let's be clear. Naresh Bhatt has not been charged with murder. He still is only facing that one charge. The search is continuing for Mamta Kafli's body, and police continuing that search tonight. We do now have a glimpse at the evidence the Commonwealth has based on what happened inside court today, and we spoke with an expert about how that could be used. Day after Naresh Bhatt was taken out of his Manassas Park home in handcuffs, he appeared in court. There, we learned what evidence prosecutors have that led them to charge him with concealing a dead body.
I think I'm still in a state of shock, honestly.
Among what was revealed in court by the prosecution, Naresh made inconsistent statements about Mamta's whereabouts. He bought 3 knives on July 30th, but 2 have not been found, and he bought cleaning supplies like Lysol and Febreze on July 31st. Plus, investigators believe there was pooling of blood in the Bhatt home that appeared as if someone was dragged.
They're looking to bolster and see what evidence is out there because they're constantly building a case.
Jennifer Coffindaffer, a former FBI special agent and News Nation law and justice contributor, says the next step is taking what was found during the hours-long search at the Bhatt home and figuring out if a murder charge can be proven.
Cellular device tracking is going to be one of the biggest things. Where did his cell phone go? I believe there's going to be a trail to follow both directions.
For both the investigation and Mamta's loved ones, the search continues. They want justice for Mamta and her 1-year-old baby, and a homecoming for a woman loved and now remembered.
We used to sit together, have like chapati, and her baby was there. You know, that was the good time.
Now, Jennifer Coffindaffer said in our conversation that if a body is not found, or even if it is, murder cases can rely on a number of different things, including physical evidence, the body, or a murder weapon, or some digital forensic evidence, such as what they find from a phone or a computer that was likely searched. Now, as for Naresh Bhatt, he is still behind bars here, held without bond, expected to appear before a judge for the next time in October. Reporting live in Manassas Park, I'm Max Marcella, DC News Now.
All right, some really interesting details there. Thank you so much, Max. Let's take a look at the timeline of Mamta Kafli's disappearance. Initially, her husband told police he last saw her on July 31st. But now police say she was last seen on July 27th at the UVA Prince William Medical Center, where she's a pediatric nurse. When she missed 2 shifts, colleagues called Manassas Park Police to check on her. Police spoke to her husband on August 2nd, where he told them he didn't want to report her missing, saying she could be traveling. It was 3 days later that he would report her missing. And then you fast forward to this week, and Manassas Park Police got a warrant and spent hours on Wednesday searching the couple's Heather Court home. Late Wednesday night, police revealed that Naresh Bhatt was a person of interest and not cooperating with the investigation. Early yesterday morning, police arrested him and later charged him with concealing a body. New tonight in the district, police say a teen boy was shot in Northeast. This happened right near the Huntswood Courts apartments there on Hunt Street. Police say the boy that was conscious and breathing when officers arrived. No word on if police made an arrest. And we're going to continue to follow this story and bring you the very latest developments.
Also new tonight in the district, D.C. Chairman Phil Mendelson says at-large council member Kenyon McDuffie will lead a temporary committee to look into Tryon White's federal bribery charge. The council member is accused of taking more than $150,000 in kickbacks. That committee will also look at exactly where White lives within the district. They have until December 16th to file the report. All right, taking a live look right now at the U.S. Capitol building. Just a beautiful view on this beautiful Friday night.
I know. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. And Janessa, it has been a spectacular week. We are just putting the cherry on top on a Friday to start our weekend with another lovely day.
Yeah, we're excited to go into the weekend with not much changing in this forecast except the heat component. Really precip, it is just not in our near future across the DMV. And so if you're enjoying this kind of dry pattern, it's still going to be very dry and comfortable for you to be outside. Partly cloudy right now, 74. A lot of clearing going to continue to unfold. The only shift now is winds coming out of the southeast. That makes a huge difference. So with the warm up we are about to see, northeasterly flow is just not going to allow us to get back into the 90s. Southerly flow, warmer air coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, parts of the Carolinas, about to pump back in here. Limited cloud coverage right now. We have a lot of 60s and 70s, 74 up and down the corridor of I-95 and as you're across northern Virginia into the upper 60s. So overnight tonight, we remain mostly clear. As you're kicking off your Saturday, humidity levels, they are bearable to start off the day, and then they quickly start to rise. I have more on this weekend forecast coming up.
Janessa, thank you. Some local businesses in the DMV are really getting a huge boost, all thanks to a TikTok star. Food reviewer Keith Lee is in town, and he's already posted some videos from 3 different restaurants in Virginia and D.C.
This is really cool to see. D.C. News Now's Daniel Hamburg visited several of them and joins us live in D.C. along U Street tonight. Daniel, you're actually at a restaurant where Lee was at yesterday.
Chris and Susan, this place is Dukum Ethiopian Restaurant, and it actually went viral just last week, this weekend, because of a video that the owner's daughter made that they were struggling. Now a lot more people will know about this place after Keith Lee visited yesterday. It's a packed Friday night at Dukum Ethiopian Restaurant, but it hasn't been that way lately.
Nearly almost 30 years in, it's coming to the point that we don't know how much longer this business is going to last.
Declining business prompted Lydia Tefera to post this TikTok last week, which has nearly 1 million views.
We're already doing great.
Coincidentally, just days later, TikTok star and food reviewer Keith Lee announced he was coming to the DMV, and Thursday night, he made a surprise appearance at Dukum.
Shock and kind of like, what? What? Come again?
His Dukum review hasn't been posted yet, but others have been, and the so-called Keith Lee effect is happening.
Anywhere he goes is absolutely blessed right after, which is so cool.
In Alexandria, the already popular Flavor Hive food truck is getting a boost after Lee reviewed its walking tacos.
Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Some customers are here because of Lee.
I like his reviews. He makes the food look good, and this definitely didn't disappoint.
Back in D.C., Kane Caribbean Street Food on 8th Street Northeast was also reviewed.
It's kind of mixed emotions with that, but 7 out of 10 is a good thing, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what you're doing anyway.
Front of house manager Nico Roach says it's been a slow year and this will help.
We actually started to pick up before he came, so now that he has come, we'll be looking to pick up a little bit more.
What Keith does is he uses his platform to really bring awareness and attention to these smaller businesses and really does good. So the fact that, he even came here and came to all of these other places in the DMV is a big win.
So Dukum is still waiting for Keith's review to be posted on his TikTok. They are sure to get a big boost after that happens. Now, we do know Lee posted an Instagram poll asking where he should go in Baltimore, so we don't know how many more reviews there are in the DMV, but he is headed up north somewhat soon. We're live in Northwest. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Certainly shows the power of social media. Daniel, thank you. Meanwhile, in Virginia, a Fairfax County daycare provider is accused of assaulting 2 children in her care. Investigators say Sumi Shaw restrained the kids with tape on multiple occasions. Her county licensed home daycare is on Paul Street and Bailey's Crossroads. Shaw turned herself in earlier in the week and has since been released on bond.
Let's head to Maryland now, where a UPS worker in Montgomery County is accused of stealing items from packages and then selling them at pawn shops.
Yeah, DC News Now reporter Kevon Dupree spoke with customers in Wheaton who say this news is really concerning.
Some of the items the driver allegedly stole were dropped off by customers right here at the Wheaton UPS store. People noticed their items went missing, so they contacted police.
It's terrible because, as normal people, we put kind of like our trust into these into these carriers.
Last November, a customer put their trust into a carrier to safely deliver 5 gold coins from this UPS store. But 3 were missing when the package reached its destination. The coins were reported stolen.
It's, just sad that that people would come to this where they'll steal other people's valuables. And
in April, the victim told police the coins were found at a Silver Spring coin shop. Through their investigation, Montgomery County Police determined UPS driver Adelia Oriana was the suspect.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. You see it a lot, not just in UPS, but, a lot of the different mail services.
Oriana turned herself in June. She's being charged with multiple counts of theft for stealing items, then selling them on numerous occasions.
No matter where you go, what you do, there's always going to be somebody trying to do something shady. So the people that, do these sort of things, eventually karma catches up to them, the law catches up to them.
Some customers fear this will become a common trend as we move closer to the holidays.
People send a lot of packages, so the stealing going to be much more than regular season.
MCPD is encouraging anyone who may be a victim of package theft in Rockville or Wheaton to contact them. Reporting in Wheaton, I'm Kevon Dupree, DC News Now.
And tonight, UPS responding, telling DC News Now the trust of all customers of the UPS store brand is one of the utmost of importance, and we take any allegation of theft seriously. The store in Wheaton, Maryland is an independently owned and operated location. The owners of that location advised they terminated their employment of the accused person.
The results of DC students' English and math assessments, they are out, and the 3rd through 8th graders saw some improvements. Mayor Muriel Bowser sharing the news that overall 34% are meeting or exceeding English standards. In math, 6th through 8th graders saw a 1.6% increase in their math scores, with about 23% meeting or exceeding standards. Across the board, scores remain consistent and are seeing a slight uptick.